The rain over London that evening was not gentle. It hammered the glass walls of the hotel lounge like applause, a cruel echo of the applause Caitríona Balfe had known so well. She sat alone in a velvet armchair, fingers wrapped around a cooling cup of tea. For the first time in years, she had no script in front of her. No cameras, no co-star smiling reassuringly from across a set. Just silence, and the decision she had dreaded for months. The headline had been drafted in her mind for weeks: Caitríona Balfe breaks her silence. She had imagined the typeface, the shocked emojis, the speculative tweets. But nothing prepared her for the moment she would actually say the words aloud: Sam Heughan does not deserve my love. The thought made her heart pound. She had rehearsed it like a line from a play, but unlike the roles she had built her career on, this one was real, or at least, as real as she allowed herself to be. For years, fans had worshipped the idea of Caitríona and Sam together. They sent gifts. They wrote poems. They insisted on chemistry that blurred the boundary between fiction and reality. But no one saw the fractures. No one saw her doubts. No one saw the long nights after filming when she stared at her reflection, asking if she had mistaken admiration for love. The room smelled of bergamot and damp wool. She opened her notebook, the one with the marbled green cover. Inside were notes she had written on airplanes, in dressing rooms, and in the quiet between takes, fragments of their conversations, her fears, his evasions. Tonight, she would turn those fragments into a story. Caitríona had met Sam on a chilly March morning in 2013, in an audition room in Glasgow. The network had flown her in from London for a screen test. She was nervous but determined. Sam, tall and disarmingly warm, offered her a cup of coffee from the catering table and said, "We'll smash it, yeah." She remembered laughing, the kind of laugh that bubbles up from relief. They smashed it indeed. By the end of the week, they were cast as lovers destined to burn up the screen. At first, Sam was the kind of co-star everyone dreams of: attentive, funny, generous with his scenes. He would drape a coat over her shoulders between takes, whisper encouragements when she doubted a performance. But slowly, cracks appeared. The late-night texts that read like poetry but arrived only when he was lonely. The promises of privacy that dissolved under the flash of paparazzi. The invitations to talk that ended in rehearsing lines instead of feelings. The breaking point came during the press tour for season 4. She had flown from Paris to New York, jet-lagged and feverish. Sam had been in Los Angeles the night before, smiling at a charity gala. The next morning, at a breakfast interview, a journalist asked them both, "You two seem inseparable off-screen. Any truth to the rumors?" Caitríona froze. Sam smiled, that easy, practiced smile, and said, "Oh, Caitríona's one of my best friends. Always will be." The words sliced deeper than he knew. One of his best friends. Not partner, not confidant, not even someone he would claim as his own. That night, she sat in her hotel room with her phone glowing in the dark. His texts came in bursts, jokes, memes, vague apologies. None of them said what she needed to hear. That she mattered, that she wasn't just part of his brand. In the weeks that followed, Caitríona began writing a letter to herself. At first, it was therapy. Then, it became a script. Then, it became a manifesto. She had given everything, her time, her privacy, her heart, and received only admiration for a character she played, not the person she was. When she finally decided to go public, it wasn't out of spite. It was survival. On the night of the interview, she wore a simple black dress and no jewelry. She looked directly at the journalist and said, "Clearly, I have great respect for Sam as an actor and as a colleague. But as for my personal life, Sam Heughan does not deserve my love." The room fell silent. Cameras whirred. Outside, a fan holding a cardboard sign blinked in confusion. The clip aired on a Thursday evening. By Friday morning, Caitríona's phone was an inferno of notifications. Some were from friends, whispering, "Proud of you," others from anonymous accounts hurling questions. What happened? Did Sam cheat? Is Outlander cancelled? She muted them all and sat by the window of her London flat, watching the clouds drag across the sky. For the first time in years, she felt oddly calm. The words had left her body like a confession. She had not accused Sam of cruelty. She had not painted herself as a victim. She had simply named her truth. And yet, the world was already building its own narrative. Her publicist called at 9 a.m. "You've started a firestorm," the woman said without greeting. "We need to issue a clarifying statement." Caitríona closed her eyes. "Clarifying what?" "That I spoke honestly. Ideographic period, that it's not a feud. That the show isn't at risk. That I'm allowed to have boundaries?" Caitríona interrupted softly. Silence on the other end. "Yes," her publicist finally said. "That, too." Across the Atlantic, in a Los Angeles bungalow filled with framed posters and soft lighting, Sam Heughan scrolled through the headlines with an unreadable expression. He had known something was brewing. Caitríona had grown distant on set, her smiles edged with exhaustion. But he had convinced himself it was just another storm they would weather. They had always been good at storms. The tabloids, the shipping wars, the endless speculation about their private lives. Now, staring at the video of Caitríona's interview, he realized this was different. This wasn't just a story. This was her truth. And he had been caught flat-footed. His manager paced the living room. "We have to respond, Sam. If you stay silent, you'll look guilty. If you fire back, you'll look cruel." "I'm not going to fire back," Sam said quietly. "She deserves her voice." The manager stopped pacing. "Then what are you going to do?" Sam set his phone down. "Think. For once, just think." In the days that followed, Caitríona's mind replayed their history in flickers of memory. The first wrap party, when Sam had found her sitting on a staircase and handed her a paper cup of whiskey. To surviving, he had toasted. The rainy shoot in Prague, when he had wrapped a blanket around her shoulders and whispered, "You're the only reason I can do this." The night after the awards ceremony, when she had asked, "Are we real?" and he had kissed her forehead instead of answering. She had always given him the benefit of the doubt. Always assumed that the next season, the next tour, the next project would be different. But the seasons rolled on, and she remained a ghost in the story of her own life. Online, the fandom split into factions. Some applauded her courage. Others accused her of betrayal. Memes proliferated. Hashtags trended. #Team Caitríona. #Team Sam. #Just tell us the truth. Caitríona tried not to look, but the noise seeped in. At a coffee shop one morning, she overheard two women whispering, "She's just jealous he's moving on." At an airport lounge, a man asked for a selfie and then murmured, "You broke his heart, didn't you?" She began wearing sunglasses indoors. One night, unable to sleep, Caitríona opened her laptop and began typing a letter. It wasn't meant to be sent. It was a ritual, a way of untangling the threads. She wrote, "Sam, I will always admire the actor you are. I will always respect the colleague who lifted me up when I doubted myself. But I cannot keep offering my heart to someone who only wants my shadow. I cannot keep confusing applause for intimacy. I wish you grace. I wish you growth. But I reclaim myself now." She stared at the words until the screen blurred. Then she saved the file under a name no one would guess, Freedom Draft 1, Docs, and closed the laptop.